Yume Nikki, which translates to Dream Diary in Japanese, is a surreal, exploratory indie game developed by the mysterious creator Kikiyama. Originally released in 2004 as a free PC game, it quickly became a cult classic, spreading through online forums and word of mouth. What sets Yume Nikki apart is its radical departure from traditional game design. There is no dialogue, no combat, no quest or missions, and no clear narrative. Instead, it invites players into a haunting dreamlike experience built on atmosphere, exploration, and symbolism. The game follows a young girl named Madotsuki who refuses to leave her small apartment. By falling asleep, she enters an expansive and deeply surreal dream world made up of dozens of interconnected, looping dreamscapes. As players explore, they collect 24 different effects. They are items that change Madotsuki's appearance or grant abilities, such as riding a bicycle, turning into a lamp, or taking on eerie forms like a faceless figure. There is no set order or direction, and players are left to find meaning in the spaces they traverse. The dream world is both whimsical and disturbing. Its settings and areas explored are spaces that can feel disjointed and dreamlike, often looping back on themselves or connecting in strange, unexpected ways. This use of dream logic enhances the sense that the player is wandering through a fragmented mind. Beneath its minimalist structure, Yume Nikki explores a number of heavy psychological and emotional themes. These include social, isolation, anxiety, depression, trauma, and the ambiguity of memory and perception. Many interpret the game as a symbolic look into Madotsuki's mental and emotional state, possibly hinting at past abuse, personal fears, or a need to retreat from the outside world. The player's ability to change appearances and explore disconnected environments also speaks to the themes of identity and alienation. Yume Nikki has held a lasting impact on the indie game world. It can be framed as a standout example of spatial storytelling. Its meaning is conveyed not through text or dialogue, but through environment, movement, and visual cues. The player experiences the game by moving through space, interpreting the tone, layout, and symbols of each area. The game acts as a window that lets us observe Madotsuki's inner world, but also a door that immerses us and asks us to participate in uncovering its meaning. In this video, we will explore the game's unique and abstract presentation and the nature of dreams, exploring how film uses door and window metaphors, as well as spatial narrative implemented into Yume Nikki, and why it was and still is important to the medium.
In this class, we talked about the theory of the screen as either a window or a door. A window lets us look into another world from a distance, like we're watching it happen. A door, though, invites us in. It immerses us, transforms us, and sometimes even unsettles us. Yume Nikki is definitely a door. It doesn't just show us a dream world, it lets us step into one. And just like the early experimental films of 1920s France, it uses visuals and sound to explore the tension between what's going on inside of our minds and what's happening outside in the real world. In the game, you start in a room called the Nexus, which has 12 different doors. Each one takes you to a strange, dreamlike space, a never-ending subway, a white desert, a tunnel that feels like you're inside something alive. These places don't follow normal logic. Instead, they work the way that dreams do, kind of like the surreal, non-linear films by Germain Dulac and Louis Buñuel. Back in the 1920s, French Impressionist films like Dulac and Abel Gance believed that film had the power to express emotions and inner experiences, not just tell stories. Dulac talked about creating a visual symphony through rhythm, mood, and perception. Yume Nikki picks up that same idea, but in video game form. It doesn't give you a clear story, it gives you space to explore, feel, interpret. Surrealist film wasn't really good about making sense, it was about disruption. These filmmakers were pushing back against traditional storytelling and the idea that everything needs to be logical. You play as a girl named Meretsuki, and all you can really do is explore and collect strange effects. The game's vibe taps into what surrealists loved: dreams, the unconscious, and repressed emotions. The world you walk through in Yume Nikki feel both personal and distant. That's kind of what Jacques Lacan meant by the split subject, the idea that there's a gap between how we see ourselves and who we really are. You can see Madatsuki on screen, but you don't really know her, and the deeper you go into her dreams, the more mysterious she becomes. Film theorists talk about how watching a movie or playing a game isn't just passive, it's reflective. The screen acts like a mirror, shaping how we see and understand ourselves. In Yume Nikki, you're not just entering a dream, you're also feeling the discomfort and disorientation of being inside someone else's inner world. Even though the game has simple pixelated graphics, it still asks us to read them deeply. Like the way early cinema used close-ups to capture tiny facial expressions, Yume Nikki invites us to see its visuals as emotional surfaces. The blurriness doesn't take away from the meaning, it actually adds to it, letting us project our own feelings and interpretations onto what we see. In the end, Yume Nikki doesn't just show us a dream, it becomes one. It opens a door into something fragmented, surreal, and buried deep in the subconsciousness. It's a space where film theory and interactive storytelling overlap, and where we, as players, are just as lost and curious as the character we're trying to understand.
So why do we dream? Some say that there's a deeper meaning within dreams, that it's your mind trying to help you understand your current events. However, according to specialists, the understanding of the brain and its functions remain untamed. Though there's no real understanding for why we dream, there's many theories, some of which are Sigmund Freud theory, suggesting that dreams represent unconscious thoughts and desires. The self-organization dream theory suggests that sleep allows us to process and understand the information collected in the previous day. Lucid dreaming is achieving a conscious awareness in a dream, while asleep led from non-lucid dreams in REM sleep. Essentially, you have control over things that are happening in your dream, almost like a superpower in a dreamlike state.
It's working!
And creativity problem-solving dream theory. This suggests that while the mind is asleep, it's free to make up its own world and scenarios, helping the person problem solve. Understanding the nature of dream suppression is also important. According to the iconic control theory process, recurrent unwanted dreams contribute to impaired dreams, psychological distress, and fear of going to sleep. Suppressing thoughts and emotion contribute to dream suppression. In Yume Nikki, the approach to a dreamlike state in a video game is a bit different. Its contents are a lot darker, abstract, with elements of psychological horror, with feeling like you're almost in a nightmare. While playing the game, the optimism one has for exploring soon becomes dim, when every place you look over feels almost replicated. The features in the game suggest that our main character is in a suppression episode. Being that we are in a dreamlike state, the nature of the dream is almost horrifying, almost like a nightmare. The game's structure can be interpreted in a way to replicate and explore a dream and its nature, including the possibility of lucid dreaming. In the game, the player explores different dream worlds, while also interacting with various dream characters. In Yume Nikki, we see that dreams are entire worlds, but these are based within its own hosts. For some of these dreams, underlying history or repressed thoughts are signified, but never directly told. Within the contents of the game, a dream refers to a tangible world in which exists in a dream world, suggesting a lucid dream-like structure within the game.
As mentioned before, Yume Nikki took a very free-form and unusual approach to constructing its narrative. Digital culture scholar Astrid Enslin writes about video games as unusual narratives in her essay of the same title. She identifies three aspects that contribute to this idea: unnatural spatiality, unnatural temporality, and unnatural narration. Yume Nikki excels in unnatural spatiality and temporality in particular, so I wanted to focus on these aspects of the game and how they lend themselves to the game's narrative. Starting with temporality, the passage of time in Yume Nikki is unique in that it seems to not pass at all. No matter how many times Madatsuki goes to sleep, nothing in the real world changes. The result is the same whether you spend 5 seconds or 5 hours in the dream world. For all the player knows, the game can take place over the course of one night or several years. Whichever it may be, the ambiguous flow of time is one of the key factors that highlights the feeling of loneliness and being lost that is present throughout the world of Yume Nikki. Also highlighting the game's theme of isolation is the unnatural spatiality found in the dream worlds. Within Marutsuki's dream, there are no rules. You can go inside an igloo and arrive at an island, or become trapped in an endlessly looping walkway, or maybe even be transported to a different world by simply touching an object. The unpredictable nature of the game makes it so that you never quite know where you are exactly or where you could go. I've played this game countless times, and to this day, I still find myself getting lost or finding something completely new whenever I come back to play it. In 2004, Yume Nikki was a pioneer for this kind of abstract storytelling. Its influence is seen in both large and small video game developers today. One example can be seen in the abundance of open world type games that we see today. Yume Nikki is a bold and fascinating look into the human mind and the nature of dreams, and a shining example of video games as a medium for engaging, surreal, and thought provoking storytelling. It's for all these reasons that it is still remembered today.